All the dogs that I work with, if they can tolerate it, they get put on a raw diet. And usually what I see is improved quality of life. They are happier, they have more energy, they move better because it all decreases inflammation and nourishes the microbiome, which is really what, keeps the body healthy. So not only are we feeding the dog and the cells of the dog, we're also feeding the microbiome with the raw food, and they are made to be eating raw in the wilds. That's what they eat. Nobody cooks any kibble for them. So I just see all good things with many of them. Again, diarrhea, loose stool resolves. They're just happier overall. And even if they have significant issues. I remember another case who had a tumor in the salivary gland area, and even though the tumor didn't shrink or stop growing, the dog just was feeling so much better, and the people, his pet parents, were so happy that for the last months of this dog's life, it had a really amazing quality of life and was happy and running around and just doing really awesome. So any dog can benefit from it, and just like for humans, the more we stray away from what they should eat in the wild, the more illnesses we see, such as allergies, cancers, autoimmune things, etc. So I'm all the way in with the raw food.
Species appropriate diets change the lives of just about every patient I've treated. It started early on in my career when I was dealing with zoo animals and wildlife. There is just nothing better than making sure that these animals eat the food they're meant to eat, because that's the best way to heal them. And everyone who does exotic animal medicine, zoo animal medicine, or wildlife medicine really has that at the core of their being, because it's the easiest way to make sure that an animal will get healthy quickly. So when I was dealing with camels and they were constantly having arthritis and all of these problems, and I kept getting calls from different zoos all around the world saying, oh, you do acupuncture, can you come and treat our camels who have terrible arthritis? I got to a point where I thought, I wonder why camels have so much arthritis. And really, again, all it took was trying to figure out what was the species appropriate diet for that species of camel and to make it healthy. And what we found was they were not getting enough salt in their diets. And without the salt, they absolutely develop arthritis. When you put the appropriate amount of salt and in their fresh browse, they actually stop having arthritis, which was amazing. And that really led me to start thinking about all of the ills that we're seeing, chronic problems in dogs and cats, obesity, arthritis, cancers, autoimmune problems, diabetes. All of those things can be fundamentally helped significantly with diet. And in fact, that's all I see. I see animals come in with a myriad of problems. Sometimes there's one problem, sometimes there's 10 problems. And if I change the diet to something that's species appropriate, very often they don't really need me anymore as a veterinarian. They might need me for an annual exam, which is fine. So I watch animals eat themselves healthy. I watch animals come in with terrible prognosis from specialists, from a lot of different conventional medicine doctors who are stymied by the situation, where they say, wow, you have so many problems and medicines are just going to keep on adding different side effects and things like that. So they come and they say, what can herbal medicine do? What can acupuncture do? And I sort of say, wait, hold on. Let's not give up yet. Let's just try diet. So we go back to the food, we address it really carefully in terms of what species appropriate food they can have based on whether they're a dog or a cat. And I watch these animals go from being chronically ill to being vibrantly healthy and living much past their expiration dates. These are vibrantly healthy animals that their body just recognizes the healthy foods and says, oh, I know what to do with this. I can make vibrant health in my body. My body knows how to manage the nutrients, how to take it and make it into an effective immune system, how to build healthy tissues and muscles at any age. At any age. There isn't an age limit for this kind of health. There isn't my dog's already 13 or 14, has always been eating this food. I know they're really ill, but I don't want to change their diet now. No, that's not something that I consider. Now is the time. Now is the time to make the diet appropriate and make the animal healthy, no matter what their age or condition. I see that work beautifully in my practice every single day.
I see many patients who are challenged with various GI problems, skin problems, what we call food allergies, however they may manifest in that individual, and changing them to fresh food, to food that's not processed, to food that is human quality, not leftovers and spoilage from the human food production industry, makes a dramatic difference. I'm giving the animal the nutrients they need, and essentially I'm feeding their cells, not their bodies. And that's a revolutionary way to look at feeding an animal, to actually feeding the cells, the tissues, the organs in the way they were meant to be fed by Mother Nature.
You just see total changes in the animal's outlook and its healing time, in the blood levels of its liver, its pancreas. It's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty frustrating how it hasn't become a mainstay for every single veterinarian on this earth, because it's frustrating to see them buck this trend of healthy food that we know will definitely improve the health. So it's just extremely wonderful when we see an animal change.
Prescription diet or fresh food?
Fresh food, hands down. Chinese food therapy, raw foods. Even if you can't afford to do the best of the best, moisture is the key.
Yeah.
They have to have moisture. This kibble and dry food is so toxic.
I guess the other really big thing to think about is shedding. How many animals shed, and then we put them on the species appropriate diet, and that shedding goes way down, and that tells you right there how much better their bodies feel. See, we're all trained to think that that's normal now because you look on the internet, oh, breeds that don't shed. Well, they all shed if they're eating food that creates inflammation in their bodies. And so people keep creating and buying these non-shedding breeds, but my pets don't shed unless they've got gut issues, and most of that's taken care of with great food.
And somewhere along the line, dog and cat medicine, because maybe they're so domesticated and it's so convenient for us to feed them food out of a bag that's completely devoid of real nutrition, and it's easy for us, we do it. We kind of, I think somewhere along the line, we fell by the wayside with them. And with exotics, like rabbits need fresh greens and a variety of them, and they need hay. You can't just feed them a pelleted diet. Yeah. And every exotic vet, knows that. And you are so ingrained in conventional medicine in vet school. I heard another one of your interviews today where, the nutrition lecture that we had, mine too, was funded by Hills. We had a vet that worked for Hills. Our lab was reading the nutrition label off of Hills products. That's not nutrition. I have a little bit of a human health nutrition background from college and undergrad and just doing my own research. And it was bogus when I was in vet school. And I made comments all the time, and, everyone was kind of just complacent to it. So,
I'm about fresh food.
Fresh food.
The fresher, the better. The more assimilation of nutrients, the better your body works. It's like having a Porsche and putting in diesel. It doesn't work.
What comes first to mind, I had one client who came in. They only came into our practice once. The dog had terrible skin issues. And the main thing we did was talk about diet and change the diet, start getting the owner to cook, get some fresh food coming in. And didn't hear from them again. Oh, I did hear from them again. The husband called. He said, "What did you do to my dog?" I said, "Well, we really just spoke about diet." "No, you had to have done more to my dog because the skin problems are gone." I said, No, we just changed the diet. And the dog had gone from hair loss and stinky and itchy to beautiful coat, not itchy, hair grown back, just beautiful.
Dogs are not, they're set up to eat raw food. There's not a wild animal out there that cooks their food. I'm just saying. And there is not, their GI tracts are not the same as ours. So the potential for them to become infected with things like Salmonella or E. coli is really, really small. The only dog foods that get recalled out there, we hear this a lot. Oh, what about Salmonella? The dog foods that get recalled are primarily kibble dog foods that are produced in factories where the salmonella actually ends up out in the bag, not actually in the dog food because of the processing plant. And so those people who are immunocompromised or have really poor sanitation and don't wash their hands when they feed their dogs, those are the reasons that dog food gets recalled. It has nothing to do with the fact that, or the idea that animals can get salmonella. I mean, dogs lick their own butts. So they, for the most part, are not going to get sick from eating a raw diet. And when that diet is species specific, when it's got all the right ingredients in it, it does wonderful things. It is medicine. It is the medicine that they need.